shadows of Japan hide secrets even darker than before. From mountain demons to cursed tunnels, we're uncovering 7 more terrifying entities. Stay until the end, because the last one is a towering nightmare you can't escape. 7. Oni. In the depths of Japanese mythology and ancient folklore, few beings are as deeply rooted in the history of Japan as the Oni. These towering yokai are more than simple monsters. They are embodiments of punishment, chaos, and human wrongdoing given physical form. Described as massive figures with horns, colored skin, and iron clubs, Oni appear throughout old texts and temple stories as enforcers of moral consequence, dwelling in haunting mountains, hellish realms, and places abandoned by society. Unlike a subtle horror story, an encounter with an Oni is a visceral experience of pure power and intimidation. Within the broader context of Japanese history, these yokai are created from humans consumed by greed, cruelty, or rage, transformed after death into demons that now torment others. In early Japanese urban legends and regional ghost stories, they drag the wicked into the shadows, crushing bones and devouring flesh in brutal acts meant to reflect earthly sins. While they may seem like unstoppable forces of nature, there is a traditional method to escape their wrath rooted deep in Japanese urban legends. During the spring festival of Setsubun, people perform the ritual of mamamaki, throwing roasted soybeans to drive these spirits away, while shouting, "Oni wa soto," demons out. What makes Oni disturbing is not their violence, but their symbolism, reminding people that monsters are not always outsiders. Sometimes, they are born from human nature itself. If these yokai have you looking over your shoulder, subscribe now, because the next one has been watching from the mountain peaks long before our time. 6. Tengu. The tengu is a mythical creature of Japanese folklore, closely associated with mountains, forests, and sacred places. Belonging to the world of yokai, it is also sometimes regarded as a protective kami. Half man, half bird, it is now most easily recognized by its red face, long nose, wings, and the attire of a yamabushi, a mountain ascetic warrior. Originally, tengu were described as beaked or bird-like creatures. Over time, this beak evolved into an exaggerated nose, which became their defining feature. Long viewed by Buddhism as disruptive demons responsible for disasters or wars, they were associated with arrogant monks condemned to wander in demonic form after death. Their image later softened. Still fearsome but respected, tengu came to be seen as ambivalent guardians of nature, endowed with paranormal powers, flight, control of the wind, shape-shifting, and illusions. They're also renowned for their mastery of martial arts. According to legend, the great Tengu Sojobo trained the famous samurai Minamoto no Yoshitsune. 2 main types are generally distinguished: the Daitengu, powerful and humanoid, and the Kotengu, or Karasutengu, closer to their original bird-like form. Sometimes malevolent, sometimes protective, Tengu embody the unpredictable and sacred force of Japanese mythology. As we descend from the spiritual heights, we head toward the vast, dark waters of the coast. 5. Umibozu. When the sea turns unnaturally calm and the moon is swallowed by sudden ink-black clouds, sailors in the history of Japan know to fear the umibozu. This giant of Japanese mythology is one of the most imposing yokai ever recorded in maritime folklore. The atmosphere of this horror story is defined by a crushing sense of scale. Imagine a pitch-black humanoid figure, hundreds of feet tall, with glowing eyes staring down at your fragile boat. The mere sight of umibozu was said to capsize ships, drown crews, or curse entire voyages, making it one of the most feared beings in Japanese urban legends. To survive an encounter with this titan of scary stories, you must outsmart its demands. If the umibozu asks for a barrel, legend says you should give it one with a broken bottom. The spirit will grow confused as it tries in vain to scoop water with the bottomless vessel, giving your crew a few precious moments to sail away into the fog. The horror of umibozu lies not only in its immense size, but in the psychological terror of helplessness. Unlike more personal predators, this mythical creature attacks indiscriminately, reminding humans that some forces are beyond control. As we leave the treacherous waves behind, the next legend brings fear closer to home. Quiet, uncanny, and almost human in its strange movements. 4. Kunekune. Not all Japanese urban legends lurk in shadows or storms. Some crawl quietly into your mind. The kunekune is one such terrifying yokai, a slender, white, almost ribbon-like figure said to appear in wide-open rice fields or empty plains on hot summer days. It wiggles and writhes uncontrollably, even when there is no wind, gaining the curiosity of any onlooker. However, the legend warns that anyone who dares approach or stare too long risks losing their mind. The moment you use binoculars or get close enough to understand what it actually is, your mind snaps. According to scary stories, anyone who grasps the true form of this yokai is driven into a permanent state of insanity. There are no charms, rituals, or objects that guarantee safety. Avoidance is the only rule. Farmers in the history of Japan told tales of entire villages wary of open fields during the height of summer, teaching children never to linger where the kunekune might appear. If you see something unidentifiable shimmering and dancing on the horizon, do not try to see it clearly. Turn your back and walk away. As this unnerving figure fades from sight, the danger moves closer to familiar paths and roads where tunnels hide secrets that are very real and escape is far less certain. 3. Inunaki Tunnel. Deep within the rugged mountains of Fukuoka lies the Inunaki Tunnel, a place where the history of Japan and terrifying folklore collide. This isn't just a horror story. It is a real-world location synonymous with paranormal activity and high-stakes psychological horror. The Japanese urban legend claims that across the tunnel sits the Inunaki village, a lawless settlement that has completely isolated itself from the rest of the country. A weathered sign at the entrance reportedly warns, "The Constitution of Japan does not apply here." Once a quiet passage through the mountains, it is now surrounded by tales of disappearances, violence, and supernatural occurrences. While some stories lean toward paranormal activity, others speak of brutal attacks, making it a place where fear is both real and imagined. Legend has it that anyone who enters the tunnel after dark may encounter vengeful spirits, strange figures, or even deranged individuals who haunt the area. Locals warn, never enter, never linger, and never look back. Surviving the Inunaki tunnel requires one simple rule: do not cross the threshold. In Japanese mythology, boundaries between the living and the dead are sacred, and the tunnel acts as a literal gate to a realm of suffering. And as the darkness of the tunnel fades behind us, the legends grow colder, taking the shape of a silent, inescapable figure. 2. Yuki-onna. In Japanese folklore, few figures are as haunting as Yuki-onna, the snow woman, a mysterious spirit said to appear during fierce winter storms. She is described as breathtakingly beautiful, with her skin pale as freshly fallen snow, long dark hair, and a white, almost translucent kimono that blends into the blizzard itself. She moves effortlessly through freezing winds and exhales a breath so icy it freezes the air around her. In many ghost stories, that breath is the last thing her victims ever feel. Across the history of Japan, Yuki-onna's legend shifts depending on region and era. In older tales, she is a merciless yokai compared to a vampire, freezing travelers solid before draining their life force. Other versions claim she can only attack if spoken to, while in places like Fukushima, she punishes arrogance and disrespect, targeting rude or careless wanderers. In Bunraku theatre, her story darkens further, portraying her as a vengeful spirit born from betrayal and murder. The most famous account comes from Lafcadio Hearn's Kwaidan in the Tale of Minokichi. There, Yuki-onna spares a young man's life on one condition: he must never speak of her. Years later, after living as his wife in human form, she disappears the moment he breaks that promise, leaving him alive, but forever marked by loss. Whether demon, yokai, or tragic ghost, yuki-onna remains a powerful symbol of Japanese mythology, embodying deadly beauty, silence, and the quiet cruelty of winter. As the cold fades, the final legend draws near, tall, relentless, and impossible to escape. 1. Hachishakusama. At the very pinnacle of Japanese urban legends stands hachishakusama, the terrifying stalker whose presence turns the ordinary into a nightmare. She is said to be a towering woman over 8 feet tall, dressed in a long white dress and wide-brimmed hat, her face hidden yet unmistakably human. In Japanese mythology and modern folklore, hachishakusama is a relentless entity. She appears near children and those alone, whispering her chilling call, po, po, po. A sound that grows louder the closer she is. Unlike other mythical creatures that you can outrun, hachishakusama is a master of deception, often mimicking the voices of your loved ones to trick you into opening your door. According to some ghost stories, she follows silently, sometimes for days, appearing at windows, on streets, or even in classrooms. Those who hear her call and try to escape often fail. Legends claim that if she catches her target, they vanish or meet a horrifying fate, drawn into her world without hope of rescue. Some stories suggest salt, charms, or hiding can delay her, but no method guarantees safety. She is the ultimate yokai for the digital age, turning the safety of one's home into a site of a terrifying horror story. With her height and her haunting chant, hachishakusama stands as one of the most chilling entities in Japanese mythology. If you survived these legends, subscribe for more terrifying tales. Sleep tight and never look back when you're alone.